What is going on, everybody? I'm back with some more Cuphead, and today I'm going to be ranking every boss in Inkwell Isle 2. And yes, I'm going to be ranking every boss in Inkwell Isle 2 on a scale from 1 through 10, 1 being the easiest and 10 being the hardest. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be saying the score of every boss. So yeah, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get started. We're gonna start with the first boss in Inkwell. I guess I don't know if you would. I guess I'm gonna call it the first boss, but I guess it's technically not. I don't know. What would you consider the first boss in Inkwell Isle 2? I don't know, but whatever. We're gonna start with the Jimmy the Great. So we're gonna go on regular, and we're gonna be ranking him first. So remember, we're gonna be ranking the bosses on a scale from 1 through 10. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. And the Jimmy the Great is actually an interesting one because this is actually a pretty hard level. It took me a while to beat this level. You can see this is a plain level, as you can see. And the Jimmy the Great is actually a really hard fight. Oh, okay, you can see in the first phase he kind of just throws treasure at you. He can also throw different things like he can throw swords and different things like that. But you can see that's basically his first phase is and actually no, I'm pretty sure this is also still his first phase technically. But you can see then he starts doing this, and then you have to like shoot his shoot his head. You can see here, and you just basically go through this, and it's pretty. This part is pretty simple. You can see, and we'll just break through here, and then you can see we'll make it to the the second phase. The second phase, and you can see this is the second phase. And you can see this is the Jimmy the Great coming out of his sarcophagus, and you can see this is just it's pretty simple. Some ghosts come out of the sarcophagus, but that's about it. There's nothing too crazy in the. So as soon as I say that, I die. It's nothing too crazy. And then after that, in the next phase, he like summons like a puppet that looks just like Cuphead that you have to fight. And then in the final phase, he summons it like let's retry again so I can show you guys. But in the final phase, he just it's I don't know how to explain. Oh no, he's doing this. You can see he does different things in the first phase. He can do different things in the first phase. It looks like he's doing it. Alright, now, and it's kind of weird, the Jimmy the Great, because technically the pillars here or whatever, this is technically still his first phase, so we haven't even made it to a second phase yet, technically, according to the game. So, I'm pretty sure, because according to a thing, this technically isn't, we're still on his first phase. So, you can see, there we go, now we're about to make it to his second phase. Here we go, this is his second phase, this is his second phase. And you can see this is when he comes out. He starts throwing ghosts at you, planets, or whatever those things are. I'm just going to use my power here to oh my god, I was trying to use it on him. Come on. This boss actually took me a really long time to beat when I first played it. So, come on. Get him. Alright, hopefully we can. I'm going to use my bombs. Here we go. Oh, that's perfect. We should be doing a lot of damage. There we go. Look at that. Now we're on to the third phase here. And you can see, look at this. So, the Jimmy the Great just, like, you can see, like, he's, like, you can see he just makes, like, a puppet that looks just like Cuphead, as you can see. And he shoots, like, the same things that Cuphead shoots. You guys get it. And, oh, careful. Oh, Heart Ring saved me. Look at that. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna use my power here. Power? There we go, nice. Okay. Hope I can dodge this. Yes. And then you can see this is his final phase. And this is his final phase, and then he has the pyramids here that, and he also throws, like, those, I don't even know what to call those, but you can see, I'm just gonna use my stuff here, and oh my god, I still died to that. Look at that. Oh, look at that. I almost made it to the end, but you guys get the point. That's basically the Jimmy the Great. It took me a really long time to beat him. The first time I played, it took me a really long time to beat him. The first time the first time that whatever you call it, I forget, but you guys know what I mean. The first time I played the boss, you guys know what I mean. But yeah, now it is time to rank the Jimmy the Great. Now for me, the first time I fought the Jimmy the Great, I'm gonna be honest, he's a pretty hard boss, and even now you can see I literally died at the final phase there. I'm gonna probably rank the Jimmy the Great on a scale from 1 through 10. Probably he's a hard boss. I would say probably a 6 out. No, you know what? I don't know what to go with. I'm gonna go with a 7 out of 10. He's close to a 6 out of 10, but I think he's pretty difficult. I would give him a 7 out of 10. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. He's pretty difficult. I think he deserves a 7 out of 10. Kind of close to a 6, but more for me, it's more of a 7 out of 10. So yeah, I rank the Jimmy the Great on a scale from 1 through 10, a 7 out of 10. Alright, for the next boss that we are going to be ranking, we're going to be ranking Beppy the Clown. We're just going to go on regular mode. It doesn't matter. Of course, I'm just, trying to show Beppy the Clown to, give my, but Beppy the Clown is a pretty hard boss fight. I would say that it took me a pretty long time to beat Beppy the Clown. I'm going to be honest, he's a pretty hard boss. I'm actually going to use Converge here. Actually, I actually probably should have used Lava. Although, I mean, the main point is just to show Beppy the Clown. It's not about beating Beppy the Clown, but I probably should have used Lava to get through these phases a little bit quicker. But it's alright. And you can see, look, that's his first phase. The first phase isn't that difficult, as you can see. And then this is his second phase, as you can see. He's a pretty hard boss fight. I mean, it took me a pretty long time to beat him, I would say. You can see he's doing this. You can see, and so far it's not too bad. When it gets crazy is the final phase. The final phase is definitely the hardest phase in my opinion of this boss fight. So, and you can see that there we finished the second phase, as you can see right there. Baby the Clown isn't too difficult. Oh no, why am I using Twist Up? All right, but Baby the Clown isn't too difficult, as you can see. He's really not that difficult, especially once you get to know him. Once you get to know him, he did take me a while to beat, but he's not that bad. You can see, his final phase. Let me just show you his final phase really quickly. Let me equip Lobber to get through this a little bit quicker. But yeah, he's a pretty hard boss. I mean, hold on. Let me switch to Lobber here, for this part. But yeah, he's a pretty hard boss fight. It took me a pretty long time to beat him careful with that. But yeah, it took me a pretty long time to beat him the first time oh my god. Okay, I keep getting nervous because I want to try to make it to the final phase so that I can show you guys the final phase, just to show you guys kind of what the final phase looks like. And you can see once again, Baby the Clown isn't too difficult. And as soon as I said that, I died. But he's not too difficult. I guess he can be. It's kind of hard with Beppy the Clown on how I honestly don't know what to give him on a scale from 1 through 10. It's kind of difficult. I don't know what to give him, but he's a pretty hard boss. I just saved myself there. He's a pretty hard boss, I would say. He's definitely a pretty hard boss fight. I don't know if he's as hard as did Jimmy the Great. I feel like it took me more. I feel like it took me definitely. I feel like it took me more to beat Jimmy. I think it took me more time to beat the Jimmy the Great than Beppy the Clown. I would say I think it took me more time to beat the Jimmy the Great more than Beppy the Clown. You guys know what I mean. But, yeah, Beppy the Clown is still a pretty hard boss. Don't get me wrong, I still think he's pretty difficult. But, yeah, I honestly don't know. It's kind of hard on what to give him on a scale from 1 through 10. But, yeah, you can see, I'm going to use actually Converge here. Converge is the best thing for this, I think. I'm not going to use Lobber. Now I'm going to switch to Lobber here. In a sec. Hold on. I'm going to switch to Lobber here in a second. Because Lobber is important here. Hold on. Go here. Okay, nice. Alright, Lobber's perfect for that. You can see, okay, nice. And then what I'm going to do, careful, okay, boom. Alright, careful. No, oh my god, I keep dying before I can show the final phase. But the final phase, just to show you, just to tell you guys, the final phase is just like I don't. How do you even say the final phase? He's just like, he just like, and the final phase, he kind of just like throws penguins at you, and like penguins just come and like start attacking you. And the final phase is just like that. The final phase, there's not. I mean, the final phase is I mean, the final phase is definitely the most. I think it's the hardest phase in this boss. But yeah, now it's time to rank Beppy the Clown, because Beppy the Clown is a pretty hard one to rank on a scale from 1 through 10. I honestly don't know. I'm gonna have to give Beppy the Clown on a scale from 1 through 10 probably a, I'm just gonna give him a. I'm gonna give him a 5 out of 10. He was pretty difficult, but I don't know. I think he's definitely a 5 out of 10. For me, I think Beppy the Clown is a 5 out of 10. Alright, the next boss that we're going to be ranking is Baroness von Bonbon. And the level's name is Sugarland Shimmy. We're just gonna go whatever difficulty, it doesn't matter. Just we're just gonna show the boss anyway. I'm just gonna show the boss anyway, but yeah, this boss is pretty interesting. This is gonna be a pretty hard one. I don't know what to rank this boss, but you can see, this is the level. You can see, you basically just fight a bunch of candy, and you can see I just started off with the what is this, a jawbreaker, and you can see hopefully we can get this jawbreaker really quickly. Come on. Oh, dodge. There we go. And you can see we got the jawbreaker. That's the first little thing of this boss fight, as you can see. And then you can see she's getting more angry, as you can see. Oh, and then here we go. We got like a gumball machine here. And you can see shooting out gumballs at me. He's shooting gumballs at me. And you can see the gumball machine isn't actually that bad. You can take care of him pretty easy. Look at that. Very easy, especially with Converge. For me, Converge is really good for this boss especially. I mean, honestly, I use Converge for most bosses in Cuphead. Honestly, Converge is probably my favorite weapon in Cuphead. But I also love it for this boss too. But, oh no, I got hit by that little guy coming out of the castle. And you can see, this is when she starts like shooting. You can see now I got the cupcake, and you can see this is actually her final phase. And you can see she just now the castle or whatever starts walking, and now she's like throwing her head at me or whatever. And you can see also whatever. Oh no! All right, I'm gonna hit her with Converge. As you can see, Converge is actually really good for the final phase too. I'm actually gonna use my invincibility here, because invincibility is good here. All right, I'm gonna use it. Okay, careful. No, careful. Oh, let's go heart ring. Yes, I forgot I had heart ring, so it gives me health, which is perfect for this. Okay, nice. And there we go. Look at that, a knockout. We beat it first try. Baroness Bonbon isn't too difficult. I mean, it didn't really take me that long to beat Baroness Bonbon. I remember probably took me like maybe about an hour, or maybe a little bit less than. I guess you could say that is a little. I guess that is kind of a long time, but I don't know. It took me about maybe a little bit less than an hour. So I would say I'm gonna have to rank Baroness von Bonbon on a scale from 1 through 10. I'm gonna have to rank it. This boss. Probably a 4 out of 10. I don't think this boss is too hard. I think this is actually a pretty easy boss, especially once you get to know the attack patterns and everything. Once you get to know the final phase is definitely the hardest thing, and the thing that I struggle with the most. But once you get to know the final phase and everything, this boss fight isn't that bad. So yeah, I give this boss on a scale from 1 through 10 a 4 out of 10. Alright, the next boss that we're going to be ranking is Wally Warbles. And you can see this is the level where whatever difficulty, it doesn't matter. And we're just once again, I know I've already said this, we're just showing the boss. And yeah, this boss is a little interesting because this boss honestly isn't that difficult, but it took me a pretty long time to beat this boss. I remember, I think it probably took me maybe even close to 2 hours. I remember, yeah, actually no, I remember, I think this boss actually took me a pretty long time to beat. I think it took me about maybe 2 hours. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it took me about 2 hours to beat this boss. So yeah, this boss, it actually isn't that bad. The thing I struggled with the most from this boss was actually the final phase, because I didn't know. You can see the second phase, he just kind of throws feathers at you, and I found the best thing to do with this second phase is just to turn into the little plane, and you can see, and it's really easy to avoid the feathers. I found this the best way to for Wally Warbles for the second phase. Just turn into a tiny plane in the second phase for when he's throwing the feathers. And you can see, I mean, he's a pretty hard boss. I mean, it took me a long time to beat it. And, I mean, I don't know. He's kind of, I don't know how I'm going to rank him. He's a pretty tough one to rank. I don't know what I'm going to rank him on a scale from 1 through 10 yet. But you can see, he throws feathers at you in the second phase. His second phase is actually pretty long. You can see his second phase is actually a pretty long. It takes a pretty long time to. Yeah, there we go. And then in his third phase, you can see you fight like a little bird, as you can see with eggs. There's like he has eggs around him that you have to dodge, and you can see, and he also shoots like whatever ray, whatever you want to call it at you, and you can. I'm pretty sure you can parry it as well, but you can see. Yeah, I mean, the third phase is actually not that difficult. The third phase is actually pretty easy. The thing I struggled with the most was the final phase for some reason. It's because I always got there with, like, 1 HP, and it was really, and basically that's why I kept, and that's basically why I kept, like, it took me about 2 hours to beat this boss. And maybe a little bit less than 2 hours, but if not close to 2 hours. And, I'm just going to use my power here to show you the final phase here. Because there we go, and you can see this is the final phase. This is what I struggled with the most, and you can see there he is, and this is the final phase, and I don't know why I struggled with it. And I was gonna say it's not that difficult, and then I just died, but you can see it's not that bad. I mean, I know I did just die, but I mean it's not that bad. I mean, Wally Warbles is, I mean, it took me a long time to beat Wally Warbles, but he's not. I honestly don't know. You know, I'm going to have to rank Wally Warbles just because he took me a long time to beat. Now, I could probably beat him pretty easily because, now I could probably beat him pretty easily. But, I mean, I know I did just die, but I would probably rank Wally Warbles on a scale from 1 through 10. Probably, you know, I would rank him a 6 out of 10. I mean, well, actually, no. I don't know. Because I don't know if he's the same as, no, I don't know. He's actually a pretty. You know what? No, I'll rank him a 6 out of 10. I think that's fair, right? I'll rank Wally Warbles a 6 out of 10. Also, just keep in mind, guys. I know I say this every time I'm like ranking or just doing stuff like this. Is that this is my opinion? Of course, if you disagree with me, that's completely fine. Of course, everybody has their own opinions. But yeah, I guess I'm gonna rank Wally Warbles on a scale from 1 through 10 a 6 out of 10. Alright, and for the final boss that we are going to be ranking Grim Matchstick. Now, this is actually a really hard boss. This took me a really long time to beat. This probably took me honestly, kind of close to, probably close to 3 hours, which is actually kind of insane. Maybe not exactly 3 hours, but, like, maybe 2 hours and... I don't even know, like, close, like, 2 hours and, let's say, like, 2 hours and 40 minutes, for example, 2 hours and a half, for example, 2 hours and a half, that's probably how long it took me to beat Grim Matchstick, maybe a little more, but, yeah, you can see Grim Matchstick is actually pretty hard. I mean, he's actually a pretty hard boss fight. I actually like to use Converge a lot. I know that Spread can be, and Lobber can be really good for this boss fight. I personally like to use Converge here because, for me, Spread, of course, you have to be closer, and I don't know, I prefer to use, honestly, Converge here for me. I prefer to use Converge, and then I actually prefer to use Lobber or something, or, actually, I prefer to actually use, what's it called? I forget the name of it, Crack Shot. I prefer to use Crack Shot for the second phase here. But you can see in the second phase, he just kind of throws these fire guys at you. I'm just going to use my invincibility just to show you guys the third phase. The final phase. Actually, the final phase. And you can see, this is the final phase. And you can see, this is the final phase. And you can see, I literally just died. But yeah, he's a really hard boss fight. That's his, you can see I just showed you this, his third phase right there. He's a pretty hard boss, and I accidentally just exited out of the game. What the heck? Okay, but yeah, I was trying to just go to the map, but apparently I exited out. Hold on, let's go back in. All right. But yeah, like I was saying, he's a pretty hard boss. But once again, I mean, honestly, not even pretty hard. He's a hard boss. I'm gonna have to probably give Grim Magic. He's a hard boss. I'm honestly gonna have to give him. Honestly, I'm gonna have to give him probably a 7 out of 10. I'm gonna give him this maybe like a close to kind of close, maybe even close to an 8. But I would give him a 7 out of 10. So I give Grim Matchstick a 7 out of 10. All right, and now it is time for the score. So at the end of the video, this is what I rank. This is my ranking of every boss in Inkwell Isle 2 in Cuphead. You can see, well, you can't see, but I ranked the Jimmy the Great a 7 out of 10, and then I ranked Beppy a 5 out of 10. I ranked Baroness Bon 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 a 4 out of 10, and I ranked Wally Warbles a 6 out of 10, and then I ranked Grim. What was it? Grim? Yeah, it was Grim. Grim Matchstick a 7 out of 10. And yeah, that is the score. So the hardest boss in Cuphead, Inkwell Isle 2, is Jimmy the Great and Grim Matchstick. So there's honestly more Grim Matchstick. Grim Matchstick is the hardest boss in Inkwell Isle 2 for me. He's even close to an 8. To be honest, he's honestly even as close to an 8. So yeah, in the end, Grim Matchstick and the Jimmy the Great are in my opinion the hardest bosses in Inkwell Isle 2. But yeah, guys, that is gonna be it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Like always, make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe button for more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.